Hello and welcome to this week's Devil for the Detail podcast. I'm Rob Parkinson and we're here talking all things Salford Red Devils. Join the show this week. Not seen him for the last couple of weeks, but he's back here now after keeping the economy going. It's Paul Whiteside. How's the last couple of weeks been for you, Paul?
Yeah, I'm all right, thanks, mate. A bit busy, you know what it's like with work and family and God knows what. And yeah, I've not spoke to you since the Saints game, have I? So yeah, I was a bit depressed after that. That took its toll on me, that game. To be honest with you, it took me a week or so to get over that. But yeah, I'm doing all right, doing okay, busy, and looking forward to the World Cup. And you know, I've enjoyed the bits of rugby I've seen since then. I've caught a few bits and bobs. I didn't watch the grand final yet. I've taped it. I've still not watched our semi-final game against Saints. I've not been able to watch it back yet. I tried to watch it the other day and then turned it off. So it's still a bit too soon. But yeah, I'm doing all right, mate. How's yourself?
Yeah, good. I had to do an eye test today. Went to Specsavers. Other eye test places aren't available, but I did go to Specsavers today and they checked my eyes out. Said that they haven't changed since the last time I did it, which is always a good sign. Even the years of advancing, my eyes aren't getting worse, which is always a good sign.
Yeah, did you see Chris Kendall in Specsavers? He could do it one there, couldn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, obviously we're all disappointed about that, but I've got over it. I don't think Parky he was quite good last week. He didn't totally lose his rag. But you've not watched it, so I'm sure it sounds like you're still hurting.
Yeah, I was. It's funny. It was a funny day, really. I mean, if we had got to the grand final, I don't think I'd have known what to do with myself. So in a way, it was. I'm not saying it's relief that we did get beat. I wanted him to get to the grand final and win it. And then when I heard about all this stuff regarding these people who've been looking at the game and changing the game and things like that, I got a bit depressed about it. And I thought, God, is that our chance gone now? Because everything's going to change. They're going to be licensing again. And I thought, was that our massive chance to finally win something? So, but no, I've thought about it, and I came away from the game and thought we'd not done quite enough to win it. I think I said that. I think me and you were both on Radio Manchester, weren't we? And we said that when they had us on the Sunday. And my philosophy was, if you're a boxer and you go away to the champion, you've got to knock them out to win. You can't win on points. You've got to go there because your champion will always get the benefit of the doubt. Well, I think that's the same in any sport. So, yeah, I think Saints just did enough, but it was very, very close. And I mean, if you look at the grand final, I mean, they won pretty comfortably, didn't they? Really. So I think we've given the biggest test, really, and I think that's testimony to the players and the staff and, you know, the way they've got us up there to play such a champion team. So, you know, if we can sign a few players and strengthen that side and keep the majority of the players that we've got, I think, you know, guys, when we go back to 2019, we lost quite a few big influential players there for the 2020 season, didn't we? So it was difficult, but this time we're keeping that bulk of the squad and the good players. So it's going to be exciting next season. I think there'll be a lot of expectation on us to do well again.
Yeah, I never thought it was the end of the journey. I still don't think it's the end of the journey. I think it was disappointing that we couldn't quite get over the line against St Helens, but like you said, we pushed them to the absolute limit, and we'll learn from that. We'll grow from that, and next time we get into that sort of environment, the experience of that Saints game will hopefully kick in, and the result will be different. Hopefully, but it's one of them. Suck it up, suck it in, and go again in 2023. There's a few bits to go at this week. We'll look back at the ladies' defeat in the grand final against Oulton. All the big news coming out of the club this week. We've got your Whiteside's World of Rugby League.
World Cup, so hopefully do a bit of a preview on that next week, can't we, and have a look at that. So yeah, there's plenty to go at. You think the season's closing down? I said that on the World of Rugby League, it'll be a short one this week. I think it's the longest one I've done.
Yeah,
there's that much stuff to mention with the World Cup coming up. So yeah, plenty to go at.
Were you? I'm not listening to it yet. Were you in the van? Was the engine going?
I was in the van. The engine wasn't going, and just as I was finishing it started absolutely teeming down torrential rain. So you might catch the end of the rain banging on the roof at the end of the report.
Well, that was one of your oppos that saying, "Paul, come on, we've got to fix a boiler, mate. What are you doing?" So yeah, we'll start with the ladies' defeat in the grand final against Oulton. So our ladies defeated in the grand final. They lost 14 points to 33. A brave performance from Chris Bates' ladies. But unfortunately, Oulton had enough to see them over the line.
Yeah, a good first start. They give themselves a great start to the game, didn't they? And good sides, they'll play for 80 minutes, don't they? And Oulton came on strong in that second half, didn't they? And, perhaps we've got used to seeing, Salford ladies just dominate teams and beat them, but good sides hang about, don't they? And they stay in the arm wrestle. I think Oulton did, and perhaps they surprised the ladies a bit there. And not saying we ran out of steam, but they're a good side, aren't they? They've had a good season, and when they played each other before, it's probably been the ladies' biggest test, hasn't it? So I wasn't surprised. I was disappointed. I wasn't surprised at the score. I thought it'd be a real tough test against Oulton, and but they've had a great season. I mean, it's a work in progress. Like we just mentioned about the men's team. I mean, it's not all's not lost. There's something there to build on, and they've had a great season. So why not carry that into next year, and just go that one step further?
Yeah, nothing but pride after of what they've produced. Not just in the grand final where they worked hard but fell short. The whole season from the very beginning, nobody knew what to expect, and obviously they've gone on this journey, and it's been incredible. So obviously looking back at the match, Paul, Steph Gray, who came back from injury after breaking her arm earlier on in the season against Hull Kingston Rovers. She had a disallowed try. Forward pass, I think from Brogan Evans. Touch and goal for me. I didn't think it was borderline, but the referee gave it as a forward. But then from the resulting scrum, error from Oulton, Salford recovered the ball, and we gave it to Sadie Rihadi. She stepped back inside and went over in the corner, and Salford led.
Yeah, and as I mentioned before, it was a good start, and that was one of the subplots, wasn't it, with Steph Gray making her comeback after injury. I mean, she was doing tremendously well before she got that injury, and that was sort of heartbreaking at the time. Wasn't it? You thought she was going to miss the whole season, so to see her back in the team was great. And as you said there, disallowed try and things like that, sometimes things don't go your way, do they? But it was definitely a good start to the game, a real solid start.
Yeah, and then 10 minutes gone, Salford scored again. Lauren Ellison in the corner after lovely work from Sadie. And Alex Simpson put Lauren over in the corner. Salford led 10-0. Bit like the League Cup final at that point for me. I thought we're in front. It's up to Oulton to come and show, and they did.
Yeah, as I said, good sides do that. Good sides will get chances in games, won't they? And they had to come back there from being behind, didn't they? And they showed an awful lot of skill and an awful lot of composure and spirit to come back from a deficit and take control of the game, which was what they did really. So credit to them.
Yeah, Danielle Rose scored for them, kicked to the corner, picked up the ball and scored 10-6 us. And then we had a chance, Steph Gray in the corner, unfortunately not able to get to score the try, and Oulton hit back, made it 10 each. But then Salford just on the hooter, wonderful play by Louise Fellingham from a scrum, kicked long. Alex Simpson jumped on the gas, turned on the afterburners, beat the cover and dived over in the corner, and Salford led 14-10 at half time.
Yeah, and a good first half, a good quality try that, and they deserved lead. But I think the game for me was a step up in quality. Really good quality first half, that against quality opposition, and even though they were leading at halftime, they knew they was in a game there because it's one of those games where you can't afford to rest on your laurels. You've got to take your chances, and you know that they're going to come back at you and throw a storm at you. So even though it was a lead at halftime, I think they would have been cautious knowing what was going to come in that second half.
Yeah, Oulton had a good side, has to be said. At 14-10, that the try just before half time gave us a bit of belief, and the way the game was sort of playing out with us scoring the first sort of 10 minutes and Oulton coming back, and then us scoring on the buzzer, the game could have gone either way there. I mean, Oulton's heads could have dropped. They could have thought we've been sat on Salford's line for 25 minutes here, and we're still behind. But unfortunately, it didn't quite happen that way. Second half, Oulton came out, and like you said, Paul, it's grand final rugby. It's about trading sets, and our ladies, they dug in. They tried the hardest. I thought we as fans we can't expect any more than that. But obviously Oulton had too much ball, had a bit too much territory as well for our liking, and we just weren't able to break out. We had moments trying to sort of break out individual sort of runs and things like that. But that's tough. That's rugby league, and it sometimes it just doesn't go your way.
No, it doesn't. But I mean, the ladies' team and the players and the staff and everybody would have set some goals out at the start of the season, and I don't think in the wildest dreams they would have ever sort of thought they were going to win the League Cup and have such a great run in the league, and then get to a grand final. I think it's tremendous for your first season. So they're going to be disappointed because people remember finals, don't they? Losing in finals, winning in finals. So they're going to remember that. But I think you've got to take that forward now into next season and use it as motivation and learning as well. You played in a big game there, and that sort of that upset of losing. You've got to use that to fuel your fire for next season now. So I think you'll see a really storming season from the ladies next season, and I think they can go one better definitely. It's a massive learning curve this season, and the coaching staff as well have probably learnt an awful lot. Chris Bates will have learnt an awful lot. So I think they can go one stage further next year.
Yeah, I said before that in cup finals either the unsung hero that wins it for you or somebody who's a sort of genuine superstar. And for me, at 14-all, both sides were treading water. It could have gone any way. But Oulton have a superstar in Caitlin Casey, who's a standoff England student international. And she's different gravy to what I've seen in this division. Paul handing 3 of the tries and just took it away from us, unfortunately.
Yeah, like you said, quality. Yeah, I think she's been quality for all year, hasn't she? And sometimes players like that, every good side needs them. Don't these X factor players? We've got one in the men's team, haven't we, Brody Croft, and he missed a big game for us, and that game went another way. So I think excellent performance from Casey, and probably the difference between the two sides in the end.
Yeah, obviously at that point we trailed 26-14, and Chris Bates' ladies didn't give up, kept pushing, kept trying to make things happen. We had a couple of opportunities. Alex Simpson went through, but unfortunately we just couldn't find a way through. And unfortunately, then at the death from a long kick, Oulton crashed over. Had a drop goal at the death as well to make it 14-33. But like we've said before, Paul, it's a proud moment. This isn't sadness that we got this far and didn't get over the line. It's a proud moment for everyone, and it's something to build on.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think it's a time to be sad at all. I think you've just got to move on from that now. I mean, the ladies aren't going to be decimated next season. Not going to lose loads of players. This group of players going to stay together, and I'm sure they're going to attack 2023 just like they've done 22. So yeah, I mean, I think the scoreline flattered Oulton in the final. They scored that try and a drop goal late on. So very close game, and it's a game of fine margins. We talk about that all the time. So yeah, I won't be disappointed about that. I just remember the whole season, all the ups and downs we had this season, and mostly ups, to be honest with you, aren't they? So yeah, I think a big close season now, and attack 2023 and go that one better and get into that Super League.
Yeah, because obviously now it's off season, opportunity to reflect, decompress. I'm sure all the ladies will go and play rugby union for different teams or whatever, or different things that they do in the off season, and come back fired up, ready for 2023, and have that experience of going through the season and hopefully making that one step they couldn't do on Sunday.
Yeah, decompress. That's a new one. I tell you what, I've not played this season. I've only watched it, but I need a bit of time off to rest myself. So if you've been playing it every week, blimey, I want to go and play rugby union. No, I think I'd be putting my feet up and my slippers on for a few months. But no, they're super fit, these ladies, aren't they? And you look at Louise Felling. We spoke to her a few times, firefighter, and the physicality of that job as well. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that they'll all be doing something or other. I don't think they'll be sat about in the slippers. Not as old as us, are they? So
no.
I'm sure they'll be doing something or other to keep themselves fit and busy before the new season.
Yeah, I always get that when teams finish the season, they're always on Twitter. Oh, thanks for the support. We've had a great season. And obviously, you think to yourself, rugby league podcasters, our season doesn't finish. We just keep going, Paul.
Yeah, well, like I said before, we've got plenty to go at this time, haven't we? Once the World Cup's done with, I mean, looking forward to that. That's going to be great. So we can keep having chats about that, can't we? And then we've got the Ladies World Cup, the Wheelchair World Cup as well. And then before we know it, when that finishes, you're looking at your pre-season friendlies coming then, aren't you? Only a month or so. I think you'll have, maybe get a few weeks off in December. But I think then, like January comes round, it's the fixtures come out as well, don't they? There's transfer signings and we get a few guests on as well. Before you know it, we'll be kicking off the season again, won't we? So yeah, we don't get a rest, do we?
No. And then obviously, if you are a player and you're listening to this, both men and women, if you get bored, you're off season, you know where we are. Basically.
Oh, we'll come looking for you.
Yeah. Be afraid. No, don't be afraid. So, proud of your efforts, ladies. Obviously, enjoy your off season. Come back firing in 2023. So that's the look back at the ladies' defeat. The Learning Disability Rugby League team. They were in a festival at Leeds, a World Cup festival representing Wales. Paul had a good day by all accounts. Lots of good rugby played.
I believe so, yeah. I saw some of the pictures on social media. Look, they had a great day there. So that's what it's all about, isn't it? There's been a lot of these festivals this season, hasn't there? And, the players are really enjoying it. So yeah. And, let's hope there's more of them as well.
Yeah, ex-Salford player Robbie Hunter, Paul. Kind of in a team picture of ours, obviously looking back to his Salford career.
Yeah, it wasn't a very long career at Salford, was it? But,
no.
We won a trophy or two, didn't we, in 2008 when the Railway Cup, and we got promoted as well, didn't we, with Robbie Paul? And I think did he score a try? Didn't he, when we won at Leeds?
He did.
I think he did. Yeah, that game at Leeds. So yeah, can't be bad.
Pinnacle of his career. He only did it at Bradford.
Yeah. Yeah, not that hat-trick he scored at Wembley, man. You didn't win that day, did they? They got beat. So yeah, but no, been a top player, no doubt about that.
Yeah, so that's our look back at both of our teams' results this weekend, and now we can see what's happening in the world of rugby league. So, Paul, we'll start with the direct debit option now available for supporters if they want to buy a season ticket and you can't afford the big splash to buy one. You can now buy it in bits.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I've still not got mine, to be honest with you. I need to get onto that. I'll get mine this week, I think, or next week. But yeah, that's a good do if you've not got them. The money's always tight, isn't it? No matter what time of year it is. But I think this time of year it does. You got Christmas coming up as well, haven't you? It's only October, isn't it? But it's not far off now. So yeah, good to see that out. And let's hope we shift some season tickets as well, especially with the end of the season and the crowd that we took to Huddersfield and St Helens, and sort of the excitement that built around the club. I think it's a good time now to start shifting season tickets.
Yeah, 20% increase in home attendances this season, Paul, which is fantastic. Obviously, how all the hard work going on behind the scenes, and now we have like a community really now with all the different teams that we have and the different people involved in that. Will bring other people into the fold. So I think it's great. Obviously, with this opportunity to buy season tickets for direct debits, opportunity now to push it and hopefully bring a few more fans in.
Yeah, opportunity club, Rob. Opportunity club. That's one of your sayings. Yeah, definitely. I think it is. It's like now's the time to strike while the iron's hot, as they say, with offers and things like that, because we're riding a bit of a crest of a wave towards the end of the season. I mean, I haven't really seen anything like that for a while. I mean, yeah, 2019 we had that bit of a run there, but we played Cass at home in the playoffs in that season. We played Wigan away, but this time it's Huddersfield away. Sort of built and then to the St Helens away game. So to take that amount of fans that we were taking, and to the Castleford game as well, we took a big following there. So it was really good. And like you said, the home crowds were building as well, and a 20% increase. I mean, that's really good. So I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day, and people say, "Oh, you're not getting these crowds and all that." But if you're improving at something, then that's good for me. And if we can improve and knock them up another 10% next year, and with 10% the year after, I mean, that's the whole way to go now. So I'm hoping that people are going to buy into it. I mean, the rugby league that we played last season, I mean, some of we spoke about it was absolute quality, wasn't it? So yeah, you're going to be entertained watching this Salford team, and I think the same next year. So why would you not buy a season ticket?
Yeah. congratulations to Ryan Lanny, who's celebrating the birth of his son Arnie. Congratulations from everyone on the podcast, Ryan. Obviously, we've both been there, Paul, and I suppose off season now, opportunity to get to do the early months without playing.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, congratulations to Ryan and his wife or partner, or is it his wife or his partner? One of the two. And I'm sure they'll. It's a tough time, isn't it, when you have children and that the first time round and routine, Ryan. That's the thing. My missus always said about routine with ours, and she was in charge and she did a good job. So yeah, get him in a routine. Read to him every night, and you can't go wrong.
My advice is sleep when they sleep.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Yeah, if they're asleep, you should be, unless you're doing a podcast like me.
Definitely.
But most of the time,
keep them well fed as well. A full baby's a happy one.
There we go. In fact, parenting 101 here now, not rugby league.
Super nana.
Super nana. Other news: King Vuniyayawa has been selected for Fiji for the World Cup. Was great for us. Obviously, spent a bit of time on the sidelines through injury, but either side of that, sensational.
Yeah, I'll be the first to admit, when we first signed him, I was one that sort of said, "Who's he?" I'd heard of him from Leeds and not really thought much of him, not really seen much of him, so I was a bit ignorant, really. But I'm always one of them who likes to give people a chance. And when I first saw him in a Salford shirt, I thought, wow, he don't have cat the ball in well, and he's impressed me as the season went on. Then obviously he got that pectoral injury, and I spoke to him a couple of times, and what a gentleman, what a really nice fella he was as well. And then he came back and did really well. So I think he's been a cracking signing for us. And like we were saying, you look at the NRL, the amount of non-Australian, non-New Zealand players that played in the grand final. People from the other countries like Fiji. So it's going to be good. There's going to be some good players. I've just seen today Tonga have arrived in Leeds. Ben Murdoch-Masila put something on Twitter or Facebook saying he just arrived in Leeds with their squad. You look at their sort of team lineup. It's frightening. There's going to be some cracking matches in this World Cup. Yeah.
Lots of obviously Reds involved in it as well. Another one is Rhys Williams. He's been selected for Wales. Obviously, he is a class winger. He's got Joel Burgess and Ken Seal, to compete with at Salford. But you can't doubt how good he is. He's fantastic for me. Genuine pace, knows where the line is. I think at Salford we're blessed that we have three real sensational wingers.
Yeah, and he's got a cracking record for Wales as well. If you look at his record for Wales, he's played a lot of games for Wales, and he's one of them. More often than not, when he plays, he scores. He's a very solid player as well. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. I'm happy to see him in the Salford lineup. I think he's a cracking player, and I'm sure he'll do the business. I mean, one player I felt a bit sorry for, as you just mentioned, Joe Burgess. I thought he would have got into the England squad. Really, I think he deserved to after the season he's had, and perhaps the wingers that Sean Wayne picked, I don't know. I don't think they're any better than Joe Burgess. So I think he can find himself unlucky, really, not to be in there. But for him, he's got to keep his head down now and keep playing well for Salford, and hopes he gets picked next time.
Yeah, we'll finish with some sad news, Paul. One of our former players, Adam Walker, passed away recently. He was a member of our 2019 Grand Final squad. Strong runner, tough tackler, fantastic offload. Our thoughts and feelings are with his friends and family at this time.
Yeah, I was very shocked to hear that the other day. I know he'd had a bit of trouble in his life. And he'd left Salford under a bit of a cloud, but he was suspended, I think, at Salford and a bit of the other, and we never really found out what had gone on. Not that we wanted to know anyway. Sometimes you're best off not knowing, but that was awful news. I mean, he's only 31 years of age, and we did a few interviews with him for Devil in the Detail, and let me tell you, he was always a gentleman. He always had a really good sense of humour, did Adam. He always had a couple of teeth missing, didn't he? He was always laughing and joking, and I think the players in that 2019 team felt a lot of him. I saw something like Jackson Hastings put on Twitter, and that just showed what a decent bloke he was. So a friend of mine knew Adam quite well, actually, and he was only in the gym with him, I think, last week, and he was talking to him about making a comeback, so playing rugby. So it's really upsetting that, and thoughts with his family and his friend. Terrible news.
Yeah. So Now, what we'll do this week's podcast, Paul, England play, I think it's Fiji at the AJ Bell on Friday. A warm-up game for the World Cup, opportunity to play a few players, get a few partnerships going, and get ready for the big dance the week after.
Well, yeah, 3 of our players in the squad, aren't we? Andy Ackers is in there, Mark Sneed and Callum Watkins. So it'd be great to see them play. And if you were Andy Ackers, Mark Sneed and Callum Watkins, you will want to put a marker down really and really impress Sean Wayne. So hopefully those 3 can have absolute stormers and get into that first game in the World Cup. So I've got a ticket for Friday, but I'm not so sure whether I'll be going. So I might have to give it a miss. So with Ellen being a bit poorly at home. So I'll see how I go on. But if not, I think my dad will be going, so I'll report of him. I don't think it's on the telly, is it? Is it on the telly?
It's on the Rugby League new app.
Oh, well, I'll catch it on
World
that.
Cup app.
I'll catch it on that.
There's other apps available. But
are you going to any of the World Cup games?
I'm not sure yet, to be fair. I know I'm going to go Friday. Because I think it's like a big moment, really. Especially the World Cup coming up. I think the last World Cup I went to watch England play, I think it was Italy, the AJ Bell. We got beat.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping for a better result this time around, which means a better result in the final too.
Yeah, I think there'll be a big crowd there on Friday night. I think it'll be a good atmosphere as well. It'll be good to see how our lads play and see how the squad plays, really, particularly with the World Cup. The World Cup's really exciting. I can't wait for it. I'm still after a wall chart. If anyone knows where you get a wall chart from, so I can fill it in. I love stuff like that. I think it's great. The World Cup is brilliant, and like I said before, I just saw Ben Murdoch-Macillier. It just made me chuckle every time I sort of see him. It just makes me think of that time he tried to run away from us when we were doing interviews with him, and it was a bit like a carry-on film when he tripped over like a tea tray, doing his normal wisdom. So yeah, I love it. I love the World Cup. I can't wait to see the players of the other nations and see how it all pans out. And I'm sure there'll be a few shocks around the corner as well. So yeah, if you're getting down there Friday, enjoy it. It should be a good night. Yeah,
we'll be looking at it in the podcast, talking about the different games and our players who play in it. So it'll be great to cover that, I think, and give you a bit more content to enjoy in the off season.
Yeah, we'll have to do a podcast sweepstake for the World Cup, won't we?
I'll let you organise that.
Or we're going to do
got loads on already.
Are we going to do predictions for the England team, for the Nandos?
Yeah,
we can do it with Salford. Well, can we do it for the England team?
We'll do it for the England team. Do you want to start this week?
Yeah, go on then. Against Fiji. Tough game, that. I'm going to go... I think the weather's going to be a bit dicky, so I'll go for 14-10 to England.
14-10? And do you have a story behind that? Or just 14-10?
Callum Watkins is going to score.
Oh. I'm going to go England roar into World Cup with a big win, 34-6, and Ryan Hall hat trick. Right down. 34-6.
Yep.
There we go. Nando's. It's coming. I can sense it.
Yeah.
Been coming for 7 years.
They've gone bust by the time we win it.
Right. So that's the end of this week's podcast. Admiral Parks. You can find us on Facebook, Level Detail SRD. You can find us on Twitter at DITDSRD. And you can find us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Radio Contact, Spotify, and YouTube. Good luck, England. See you on the other side.